and welcome to another episode of the Criterion Creeps. I am Wade.
And I am Joe.
I am Sam. Awful movie.
That is not an awful movie. I couldn't finish that movie. That was hard on me. That was hard on my heart.
The only thing I remember from that movie was he fell downstairs, and it was kind of funny.
Well, his daughter got taken away from him in the very beginning, and I started crying, and I turned it off. I couldn't deal with that. No,
it's like me. I cried on Click.
I can believe it.
That's sad. Sad movie.
Click wasn't.
But we're not here to talk about Adam Sandler movies.
No.
No. There's. I almost said there's no Adam Sandler Criterion movies, but there's one. Billy Madison. No, Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, that's right. It just got put on Criterion.
Yeah,
I was sitting here trying to put it together.
We might do that, but it's not. That's not what we're reviewing. It's similar to Punch Drunk Love. It's similar to Adam Sandler. It is.
Which one are you pulling?
Tarkovsky's Stalker. Very similar to Adam Sandler. And it's not similar at all.
I like to think it is.
Yeah, so this is a Russian film from 1979.
This is his last Russian film. When it was the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a little extra.
That's very historical there. Wow.
Yeah.
But anyway,
one of his last movies, too.
Most of his movies are on Criterion, pretty much. Most.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, a good bit of them.
A good bit, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say about half.
But this movie is about, well, a stalker. Not
the stalker you think.
Yeah.
No.
It's a science fiction movie, which when you first start it doesn't seem like a science fiction movie. And it's not like the quintessential. It's not quintessential science fiction like
it's kind
space and aliens, but
that's how Tarkovsky is, man.
There's some weird stuff going on in this.
Yep, it's based on a book called Roadside Picnic by the Strugatsky brothers, which I believe also helped write this. So
probably this movie had a lot of rewrites to it, though. If you watch,
Tarkovsky has to get his hands.
Because the Blu-ray has a lot of supplements that, if you're like, huh, and what. Which I did a couple times. The supplements really help a lot. It teaches about things like what's the zone? It's basically the Stalker is like a guide to this place called the Zone, which is like Chernobyl.
He's kind of like he's basically a coyote. In more, I guess, relatable terms. If people have heard of coyotes in America or in Mexico,
and he guides two characters,
the writer and the professor,
which they don't get names. Which is it's kind
of
like
they kept it all nickname. Yeah.
It's kind of like science and art.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that's the idea, I'm guessing.
Good old Tarkovsky throwing all kinds of symbolism in there.
Yeah, and then they go on an adventure, and I'll say this: if you've never seen the movie, it's 2 hours and 41 minutes.
Yes. Every bit of it.
And they go on this magical adventure. It's
almost like an Odyssey kind of.
Yeah. It's also like the Zone is very like. I feel like movies like games like Last of Us and
Metro is actually somewhat inspired by this movie.
Yeah,
Metro 2033 series,
like that,
which is also based on
like the overgrown. Like you would think like it's the Zone, and it's like it's probably gonna be all ready like a Fallout, like a game like Fallout, where it's just like nothing, desolate, and it's just it's overgrown.
It's a site of some sort of incident that nobody can really explain.
Yeah, that's like it's just sort of like Chernobyl a little bit.
And a bunch of people went there with weapons, and they normally don't end very nicely.
And you see a lot of tanks just.
But they essentially cordoned off the area from the city, and they say nobody can go there. But there's this mysterious place, a rumored place, if you will. Called The Room.
Not Tommy Wiseau is not there.
No, not the Tommy Wiseau room. Not Room with Brie Larson, but The Room. And supposedly, if you make it through the Zone, and you get into the room, your deepest desire comes true.
Yeah. Which is
why isn't everybody doing it?
Yeah.
Why isn't everybody doing it?
Well, the Zone. If you have to go a certain path, there's traps everywhere. And the thing is, you don't see the actual traps. What I like about the zone is its own entity, and
yes,
what really makes it work. And also, if you start the movie and you notice it's like in a sepia tone black and white,
yes, looks
the
gorgeous.
whole movie is not like that, because once you get in the zone, or any aspect of the zone, I say any aspect of the zone, or any offspring of the zone,
I got you.
it goes in color.
Yeah.
Which I'm like,
It's a good sign.
okay.
Color equals zone, guys.
Because it changes everything. Like, it changes like their whole perception of it. And what makes it work, and also the set designs.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
The iconic sand dune, the meat grinder tunnel, the
fields and the decrepit buildings,
the antechamber to the room.
Yeah.
You don't actually. Well, you actually kind of see the room. Spoiler, a little bit spoilery, but you kind of see it. Kind of like just like the set designs are really just, they'll stick in your head.
Yeah, the Tarkovsky.
Even the first scene, like the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like that door.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's a couple shots where he does frame and frame stuff.
Yeah, like
there's also From the Room Out, and there's a couple of them that are like that. And Tarkovsky is just what you have to know when you get into Tarkovsky, because he's done Stalker, which is considered a classic, Solaris, which was remade with George Clooney, by Steve Soderbergh. Ivan's Childhood. Is that he takes the opposite approach to his predecessors from the Russian school, who created montage, like Sergei Eisenstein and all them created montage. That's why we have cuts and jump cuts now. He went the opposite route. He said, "I want to leave the camera rolling as long as I can for the tape."
The cart ride,
and he does
the cart ride to the zone.
So when you watch a Tarkovsky movie, you have to realize it's going to be slower, and a slower pace. It's going to wander. Is kind of.
And you're going to wonder.
And you're going to wonder.
Yeah.
But you're going to. It's like a wandering kind of camera, but everything is really beautiful. It doesn't really like make me toe tap too much. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make you like... The pacing is slow.
You're just like, come on, let's get on.
But they start the movie slow.
They do.
So when you start the movie slow, it's like, okay, prepares you. Because if you start it fast and it gets slow, you're going to think it drags.
Once you finally get into the zone and they start navigating their way through it, that's when it started hooking me in.
Yeah.
But there's this really tense moment, or actually sequence, of when them getting to the zone, because there's armed guards keeping people from getting in.
That's when like I feel like the movie sped really fast. And if you started on there, it would have changed the whole aspect of it.
But it's just such a beautiful movie. Even the sepia tone, is just gorgeous.
And the like I think one of the biggest shining moments, the shining things, the highlight in the movie is what makes the movie so good. The cinematography.
Yeah, that's
it's a simple.
It's unbelievable.
It's a simple thing they do. They do it a lot. Mm-hmm. Zoom in.
They do the slow zooms.
Like the one with the tank, where they had the decrepit tank. And you watched. I knew there was something that was very interesting about it, but after watching the supplements, it made me realize what it was. Like when they throw the nut.
Okay.
And the professor moves forward, and then we get to that kind of like that car tank thing with like the skeleton and the gun.
Yeah, with the gun. Yeah.
And you're following it like a POV of the professor. Mm-hmm. And then in the window, the professor walks in. They're like, okay, maybe it's the writer. Then the stalker and the writer walk in. So then you're thinking maybe the perspective is the zone.
Maybe.
And it really kind of, that simple zoom in.
I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that either. And I'm like, oh my God.
Simple
zoom in.
He does zooms. He does really interesting pans and tracking shots. Like when they're on the cart.
Yeah, they pan to each person.
If you go onto YouTube, check out the Criterion Collection YouTube page if you're interested in this movie. There's there's somebody who talks about that scene, and I forgot who it was, and I'm really sorry, but it's it focuses on the person at the back of the cart, and then it pans up to the person at the middle, then it pans to the stalker who's leading the cart. Then it pans back, and all the while you hear the clanging of the track because they're on a rail car, and it just becomes like hypnotic, and it goes back and forth and then back again, and then the next thing you know, you're in the zone.
And it's in color, you know.
Yeah, it's so great.
And also just like the set design, like I said, the placement, not just like the cinematography, but the biggest part of the cinematography is the placement of the camera and the characters.
Yeah.
Really makes it strong. Also, another big highlight was the story. It's basically a story of
And it
who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Because once you get to like the reveal of what entails of the room, it's more of like who you truly are.
Yeah.
What is your deepest desire? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Yeah, and is it what you want? Like, is it what you think you want, or is it something that you try and suppress about yourself?
Yeah.
And
it's like your deepest desire could be your deepest desire would be like, I really want world peace, but your deepest desire is I want a lot of money.
But on top of it,
you?
it doesn't spoon feed you, and I think it's going to frustrate a lot of people, because they don't talk about it a lot. It's very abstract, like the zone, like and you're with the professor and the writer of, you know, why are we acting crazy? You know, there's the room right there, and he's like, no, you have to respect the zone, and he tells him all these things, and it just makes him appear to be a crazy person, and then you see stuff happen later that validates what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's just such a movie.
And then you have the interpersonal, you know, the interpersonal like conflicts between the professor and the writer, the stalker and the writer, because they don't get along very well, and then eventually the professor and the writer together versus the stalker.
And it's just three people that are just like they're constantly, the narrative keeps on changing on them.
Yeah,
and that's what makes the movie. If it was 2 hours,
and you start unveiling, you know, more stuff becomes visible behind the curtain, and that's where, you know, it gets really, you know,
like the last half really gets and
one of the great it's actually the cover of the book now, is that scene with the dunes in the
sand
room.
dunes,
the sand dunes in the room after the tunnel, and it's just
that whole sequence, the tunnel
the
the sand dunes are ridiculous.
The sequence is great, but the room with the dunes is great.
Just like this movie, you have to watch 2 hours and 41 minutes. Like, does it need to be that long? Yes.
Yeah, it because you're on a journey.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Lawrence of Arabia. Like, everybody wonders why it's so long, but it has to be that long.
Yeah. I feel like if you cut it, things wouldn't be impactful, I guess.
Yeah, and Tarkovsky's a very atmospheric director. He's very big into, he'll hold on a shot until you feel the way he wants you to feel.
And then the ending,
he does it in Solaris.
The ending is very, like what?
Yeah.
It's about belief.
Yeah,
do you believe?
It becomes, you know, a faith versus, you know, reality. Yeah, between I don't want to say actuality or reality, but like whether or not you believe in something or not, or, you know, and in the end, you can even argue that the characters that may not believe do more so than the other guy. You never know.
Yeah. And there was a dog.
Oh yeah, the dog was cool.
It was a cute dog. So
Shepherd.
Would you buy it? Tell someone to buy it, rent it, or skip it?
I liked it. I guess it depends. The quality of the movie is a buy, but the denseness of the movie and the way it's presented in an abstract way will probably put some people off. I would say if there's a way you can rent it without paying per view, because you might, like, if you're like me, and I believe Wade agrees, I gotta watch it again.
If you have Filmstruck,
if you have Filmstruck, watch it. Definitely watch it.
If you're, let's say, okay, I have two. This is a very difficult movie to say buy, rent, and
I know, right?
If you're a casual person that like watch movies and stuff like that, just you want to kind of like dip your toes in the Criterion and get more into the art house.
This wouldn't be the first one I would start off with.
Yeah, don't start out with this one. If you're like a film, like you love film and you like cinema, I'd say buy it.
Yeah, because most Tarkovsky's worth buying. It's just movie, you have to be ready. Get yourself ready for it.
It's a movie that's I feel like you need to watch multiple times.
Yeah, it's the way I was describing it to somebody over the weekend. I was telling them, I was like, you have to be patient.
It'll pay off.
I wouldn't, if you just go from watching movies at the theater every week for the last couple of years, and you're just used to kind of the Hollywood deal, you might want to get a warm-up of a foreign movie or a slower moving movie first.
If you love watching like the Transformer movies or like Baywatch or the movie Baywatch, like you might want to. You need like a palate cleanse.
Yeah, and I would also say if you're going to get into Tarkovsky, I wouldn't start with this one. I would start with maybe Solaris, which is it's a little more, I think, graspable, I guess the word. It's not as, I guess, coy with its storytelling, even though it does hide a lot. It's kind of a good primer for this style of movie, because I believe he made this shortly after that.
Yeah. After
Solaris, which is also a great movie.
I actually have not seen it, so...
Oh, we'll have to do it on the show,
The funny thing is, this is my first Tarkovsky movie.
Yeah. Good, man. Yeah. I watched Solaris.
Yeah, so... this is an extra long episode, because this movie is like...
It's a lot to talk about.
It's an extra long movie for an extra long episode.
There's a lot to talk about with Tarkovsky and Stalker and pretty much anything he does.
Yeah, and the performances are really good. And also I love how no one has a name except for the daughter. But her name is like Monkey.
Yeah, they call her Monkey.
Oh, that's not a real name though.
Like and there's a big mythos that they literally scratch the surface on. Don't go any further.
That's what I meant about like the ending. Like they just,
honestly,
I feel like there could have been a sequel.
I almost feel like, you watch the movie and you're like, oh shit, I need to watch the movie again. And then you're like, oh man, I need to buy the book and read it.
Because the ending is very...
and then you're like, oh god, man, I need to read the Spark Notes now.
Like the ending was very like they literally hint at the ending in one line and just casual dialogue about the zone.
Yeah.
And then you're like, the ending happens, you're like, oh yeah, they did mention that. And then it's just like, what?
I probably am going to get the book, by the way.
Yeah.
Because it's too cool. And the same thing with Solaris. I got to get that book too.
Yeah, so let us know what you think about Stalker. Just go in the comment section below. Is there another Tarkovsky movie you want us to do? Let us know in the comment section. We're always down for suggestions, because there's
there's 700 to 800 of
almost them. 900 Criterion movies. So please, they're pushing 900. I think November will be in the 900s.
Well, what number is this one?
This is 888. And
oh wow, that's more than I thought.
Yeah, so they're almost pushing 900. So let us know in the comment section below.
This just came out when we got it.
July.
We pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
There's a movie you've heard about that's on Criterion, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
Or, maybe I want to put these two through it, and we'll see what they say. Just let us know, please.
Or maybe you want us to put us through Armageddon.
I didn't expect that.
I got it at a Goodwill store for $2. Worth it. Anyway, subscribe, like the video. If you subscribe, you get other Criterion movies. We did City Lights. We've done some Terry Gilliam movies. We've done a couple already.
Yeah.
Check them out. You can check out like Video Chambers and all that stuff. You can follow the podcast, the YouTube channel, whatever. We're on Twitter at Condish MCP. I'm Wade. This is Joe, and we'll see you in the zone, and stay classy.